I've started the recording. Welcome. This is our Design 350 lecture. Today is Tuesday the 14th, and we are on Google Meet. So here we are. We're in week 4, and this isn't quite what we're doing, but it's kind of close. So, we never really always quite follow exactly what we're going to do because the plan, because we find something better. So here's what we're going over this week. We're going to synthesize concepts from 2 or 3 or 4 of your readings into a specific idea. And that's really key and critical. You need to be able to look at many things and pull them together in some sort of a way that helps you get your job done. And that is not easy. And so, what we've been doing so far in weeks 2 and 3 are a lead up to this that we'll do in week 4. And that will provide our background and backbone and driving force for our first project that we do a few weeks from now. We're going to take complete position readings. Finally, we're going to get them all. Although I'm going to show you next week 1 or 2 more things before we're ready to really get out there and do rod readings. And then this week, our drawing. So what have we done? We've taken survey data and made property lines. We've taken property lines and made survey data. This week, we're going to look at parcel map data. And I had to pick and choose certain properties that display it this way. You won't find all that many of them that do display it. Most of them refer to a record book or a record parcel map that you would then have to go look up and get. But I've found a couple of them on there, and you can actually take the data from the parcel map viewer and draw the property. Now, if we had access and could just walk into the county clerk's office and pull up the record books that they refer to on the other ones, you would see it is exactly like this, what you're seeing here. These ones, whoever did the entries, just happened to take their time to put in the entries. So we're going to draw properties based on parcel map data. So those are the 3 things that are up for this week. I'm going to show how to do those in AutoCAD. They're super easy also in Revit. If you're interested, you can ask me and I'll show you. But it's really, this is about some good AutoCAD drawing. So we've got our lectures and labs to do. We've got a playlist which has a few things in it. It's got the lab from yesterday, and it's got this little short clip on how to do a synthesis that I'm going to go over again because I just think it's one of those things that's hard to get, hard to figure out. And I haven't really I haven't had a chance to look at your work yet and grade it. I'll probably do that today, but you'll catch the idea. I'm going to do a few things there. It's the same reading list again. If you'll notice that how I've done this is we get to read and reread and reread again in a different manner the same material. And that's a process and a methodology that I think will be useful to you in the workplace. Whether these things are standards or design guides or building codes or just, articles that help you understand what a client wants. This idea of just previewing, which is read the bold stuff and look at pictures and the captions, pull out some keywords or phrases and kind of jot down what you think you'll remember out of it and what's important. Then go back and preview it using keywords. Scan it using keywords to really build up that information knowledge about the thing that you're interested in. And now we're going to synthesize that. You're going to take all that knowledge and you're going to make a claim or a statement, or you're going to present something that all of these things in some way attach to. So that's a methodology that you can use. Let's look really quickly at our job skills posting. And this is from my own experience. Yes, she's qualified, very clever. Being clever or exaggerating is kind of a no-no on a resume or a cover letter. And this actually happened to me. I had an applicant for a mechanical design position. Says, yes, I'm a trained surface engineer. And so I'm going, that's interesting. It sounds like a janitor. And lo and behold, it was. The person was trained as a janitor. Not a waste of my time, right? Now, if maybe the person did know how to do something, I don't know. I ain't dinking with somebody who does that. So that person was not qualified for the mechanical design position. It is very cute and it's very funny, but it's certainly not what we want to see on a resume. So here's what I'd like you to do. Prepare to add this class to your resume. Most people have a resume and often they'll list classes they've taken or skills that they've learned. I want you to just practice and prepare as if you were to add this class to your resume. So list the skills that you're learning, have learned, or demonstrated. Okay. I can draw what are some of the skills so far? You've done property line drawings from survey records. You've made survey records from property line drawings. You've traced county maps. I think you did a tracing of the SACOG or the SACOG Area Council of Governments. So you know how to present mapped data. And this one, you're going to learn how to look up properties in a parcel viewer and find specific information of it. So you'll list those things out in bullet points. And then next to each one, or it could be a little table, rate your skill or your ability. And you don't always have to use exactly the same words, but you can use familiar with, able to, efficient, proficient, independent. I can do it, but I need direction. I'm still in training with this. List them out in ways that somebody who's reading it can actually know and can make some determinations. You'll find that people that read these things really are interested at that. And nowadays, these are getting point focused where you have to do a keyword search for the skills and then say that you have the skills. But you want to be able to use English to just say, yeah, I'm skilled at. Well, we don't know what that means. Maybe it means that you know how to sweep surfaces, not that you know how to design them. Okay? And then it's really important. You got to be able to say this stuff when you come to an interview. I've seen so many people that are so good on their piece of paper and they cannot communicate when it comes into doing the interview. And it's brutal. And sometimes I'm able to overlook it because they can demonstrate their skills in other ways. And in some ways, it's just like, oh, sorry, I'm taking this person who can really communicate and has the skills. So, and it takes practice. So this is what the video portion is for. Just practice, practice, practice. So there's one of them that we'll do. Now the other one, I'm going to ask you to do some thinking again. Doesn't always work out like you're hoping it will. So here's an example of it. This is a development in Davis. And when I first heard about it, I go, how flipping cool. We know that many people that work in Davis can't afford to live in Davis. And many people that want to retire in Davis, where they have lived and worked or grown up, can't afford to. And so these guys said, oh, well, we're going to do a retirement community, and it's going to be and it's going to be for Davis residents. As a matter of fact, they put it because in Davis you have to have approval of a vote for most large construction projects. It went on to our Measure J ballot vote, and they tried to get people behind it, saying, hey, this is built for Davis residents. We're going to have a code restriction or a covenant that says you must be connected with Davis, either worked here or lived here for a certain number of years, and then you can buy into this. Okay? And that was going, like, people were going, yeah, I'm going to retire pretty soon. I'm going to vote for that. And, that sounds really good. How nice. We're taking care of our senior citizens. It's such a good idea. Okay? And so only people from Davis can buy into this place. Okay? And here's a shortened description of the problem. Okay? Here is the problem. And the guy who wrote this is a dork, by the way. I'm sorry. He has no clue what he's actually talking about. He just likes to bring up housing problems and complain about them. He has no clue what he's talking about in reality, but he's got a nice description of the problem. But here's the problem. This clearly violates the federal affirmatively furthering fair housing rule, regardless of how local people vote on it. And that's the whole rub with local control. We've always had local control. No, you haven't. You've never had local control. And the reason you don't are votes like this. Votes that clearly violate the federal law. But it's such a cool idea. Yeah. And I'm sitting here too. Yeah, I'd love to retire there. I'm born and raised in Davis and worked here as a small business owner for a large portion of my life. And my kids went to school here and my wife worked here, blah, blah, blah. I'd love to have an affordable place to retire here, so I get it. And so here's what you're supposed to do. Think about why it might, and as you do your video, be sure that you use these words. It might be good to have a retirement just for people of Davis because. So use these sentence frames. Don't try to make too much up. Use these sentence frames. I've been thinking about it, and it might be a good thing to have a retirement community just for people in Davis, because Davis is really expensive, and Davis is a little citadel gated community of Davis, and Davis is a cool place with a hobbit house and a toad tunnel, and of course you would want to retire there if you had lived in Davis. And how sad if you had to move out of Davis, and people want to get back to their family who live in Davis, blah, blah, blah. So use this sentence structure right here. Okay? But then I want you to think, Davis has a population that is over 80% white, and it's 2% black. And there's this huge smattering of other things in there. So when we know what the rules are of the AFFH, which is to reduce on purpose, affirmatively reduce segregation, then if we make a place that's only for people who live in Davis, we're making it for people that are 80% of those people are white. That is not going to do it. It's just in clear violation of this somehow. Okay. And then there's a ton of people that do work in Davis that might want to join this that are not white, but they don't live in Davis because they can't afford the housing here to begin with. So we are exacerbating this problem. So just reflect on that a little bit and then explain, does this project support this or violate it? Explain that. So I've just done a little bit of an explanation, and you'll need to think about it a little bit and go through it. So this is that thinking portion of the thing. I don't remember where this came from, but it looked pretty funny. Not sure. It looks like an old Mr. Freeze or something. Okay. So there we go. There's your discussion topics. And I think now we can get into looking at Drop Bear Falls. Please do that. This is going to be our third one. And once we have 3 sets of data, next week we're going to be starting to do a planning development activity at Drop Bear Falls. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do these. So let me see if I can get into, now I got to figure out, let me get into here. So I want to show you now a little bit about my AutoCAD setup and how I've done it. So the first thing you should know is I do have a template drawing. What's going on here? It doesn't look like it's working quite right. Okay, it is. I don't know what's going on over here on the side. Oh well. So I have a template drawing. It's a drawing that if I type DC, looks like it's having problems. Let me close out of this. Let me just go start that back up again. So I have a drawing that just holds all my stuff. So I'm going to go open it, and it's a DWT file. And it doesn't really matter. It can be any kind of a file you want it to be. It could be a drawing file. But I kept it as a DWT because that is hard for me to mess up. So there's my DWT file, and there's tons of stuff in it. Okay, now I'll open a new file. And I want to get some layers. So I'll go to my Design Center. DC opens the Design Center. Open up my open drawings in my template, and I'll look for layers. And I'll just put in what I need. So I know I'm going to need the C prop layer, probably some construction lines, def points, dimensions, probably text. And since this is architectural, I'll probably need thick and thin. I'm just dragging them in, and voila, they show up. I also might want to show my stuff on a layout. So this looks like it's mostly my mechanical stuff, but I can go with a sketch B size and see what that looks like. Hold it down and bring it in. See how I've got a layout just like that. So I love having these things. If you need me to show you how to make one of those, let me know and I can put together a special little class. But look how quickly my drawing one is put together. And then I think I might need dim styles too. And I generally use architectural scale factor 1 because I do everything on my layout. And if I need to do something else, I'll go back and get. So I preset this. These are all presets. And now it's fast for me. So now I can close my design center and I can just have this drawing ready to go. Okay. So now I need to draw some property lines. I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to go find the site, 4632 Winding Way. So I can type that in, but I'm kind of close to it. I can probably go find it. 4632 Winding Way. Look, there's even an A and a B there. They've actually split this lot just a little bit, but there it is right there. And look, everything's all on here. Wow, it's got all this stuff. Really interesting stuff. There's the land information right there. How it's zoned. Owner information. Look at that. It's been recently purchased. That's kind of cool. I knew the former owner. Okay, and there's some building stuff and so there's some stuff on here. But here's the important part that I want you to do. This particular one says what it is and how to draw it. Okay, so I'm going to have that up and available for me. And I'm going to put it in, where do I want to store that? Because over here, let's see what I've got over here. Do I have my 350 up? I think I'm just going to have it available. I'm always trying to figure out what my best way to show this stuff is. So let me do it like this. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Now you can see that. And I'm going to take a snip of this assessor's thing. And I'm going to have it up where you can see it. Why that won't get any smaller. There we go. So now I can see that. So that's what I need to draw. I need to draw this thing right here. So let's take a look at what it says. It's a portion of lot 130 of Arcade Creek Park. And it begins at the northeast corner of the southern portion of lot 130. Okay. Being in the center line of Winding Way. Then south at some certain angle for 421 feet. Okay. And then, so it keeps on going. Then. So let's see what that means on here. It's going to start at the northeast corner, right there. Then go south 1 degree east, so it barely tips out this way for 421 feet. Then west 140, then due west 146.5 feet. Then north a little bit west for 419 feet. And then some sort of an arc with a radius of 574.6. And then there's 65 feet. So I could draw from over here backwards 65 feet and draw center start radius, or start end radius, and fill that in. So you see how I just read all of this stuff and worked my way around, and I want to draw that. Okay, so now I want to draw that. So let me draw a line 500 feet long. How am I going to do that? Units, decimal, feet, and look, this is in surveyor's units. So I'd better make myself use surveyor units, and it's got degrees, minutes, seconds. There. So let me draw 500 feet. And if I double click my mouse wheel, voila. Uh-oh, am I recording this? Yes, I am. Good. Huh. So now I'm sort of zoomed out to the right thing. So I'm going to start now with a property line, C prop. I'm going to draw 421 feet at an angle south, 1 degree, 46 minutes, 30 seconds to the east. Draw. I'll just start up here somewhere. And it's going to be 428.1. Tab. Now I'm into my polar. And it's going to be 1D, 46 minutes. Whoops. 46 minutes and 30 seconds. Oh, I needed to put the angle sign in there. An angle. Let me see if I got this thing going right. Well, I'm going to go back to my old-fashioned way. I'm going to turn this off. I don't know how to do that. That dynamic thing isn't working. So I'm going to draw a line. And then I'm going to say from where I'm at, and I'm going to say it's 428.1 at an angle of 1D, 46 minutes, 30 seconds to the east. That's interesting. Why that's not taking those. Oh, I know why. I didn't start with my first thing. God, I'm just blowing this. All right, so I'm going to start up here. I'm going to say from where I'm at, and I'm going to say that it is 428.1 at an angle. Start out facing south. I have to write south. 1D, 46 minutes, 30 seconds to the east. There we go. Forgot my south because it was sitting up there. Okay, then it says to go over here, it says to go due west 146.5. So go due west 146.5. And then from where I'm at, I'm going to go, how many feet? 419.5 at an angle. Start facing north. Turn 1 degree, 46 minutes, 30 seconds to the west. Now I'm going to do this last one here. If I go back, and I'm going to do it on purpose backwards. So it says to go north 85, east. So I'm going to go south to the west. So from here, from where I'm at, I have to flip it if I go the other way. And it's 80.8 at an angle south, 85 degrees, 5 minutes, 15 seconds to the west instead of the east. And then there's got to be some sort of an arc here. So I can go to my arc, and I think start end radius. Start end with a radius of 574.6. That's the lot. Okay, so I'm reading this over here. How did I find that last one? Okay, I could have done the chord and drawn it, but I decided just to use this one as my last one. And POB, point of beginning. It's like, wow. Let's see. These don't always match up. Let's see if this thing does. Area. You guys know how to do that? Area. And hit enter. This is 61,000. That says 56,000. So it's really interesting how sometimes these things don't quite match up, but I did exactly what they said. This is why records can sometimes get kind of goobered. Okay, so I just measured that. So either I've got something wrong, so I can click on these to see if they're just about right. Properties, See if I've got my length right. 428. 428. Yep. So there we go. That's that. Now I'm going to put it on my B-size sketch. And I want to put my property on there. So remember that goes to depth points layer. Go to my layout tab and put a rectangular layout in here. There it is. And now I have to come down and I have to set my scale so it's something normal. So I'll click my paper button. That puts me into model space and 0.02. So that would be like what is 0.02? 1 inch equals 20 feet-ish. 0.02. 1 to 50 is probably my best one to use out of this list. It still gives me some room up here. Maybe I would need to put a new one on here, but these are pretty common ones, so I want to try to stay with one that's common. But there's a 1 to 50, and I can click back out of my model, and then everything can be on here. Now there's a few things that I want to be able to draw. I'm going to add on to here for you. So first, in the model, I need something that shows up as a scale. So usually what I do is a polyline, and I'll just put it somewhere, and I'll draw it a certain length. And in this case, I think probably either a 50-foot length or a 100-foot length would be a good scale. So I'm going to make it 50. And then I can set the width. I want the width to show up on here. So maybe a 5-foot wide line. And then I can get out. Let me see if that did its thing. Properties, global width should be 5. There we go. So now I've got something that's that long, okay? And I can easily just make some markers on it. And you know what? These would normally, I'm doing those on the depth points layer. Those should be text. And I'm a shift right clicker. Shift right click. Now I can point the midpoint. I don't know why that's not going there. There it goes. And I'll show you why I did that. That now shows up on here. And so no matter how I get this plotted or pictured or scaled, I'll have something that I can measure. And again, I'll make these about 5 feet tall, maybe 8 feet tall. And I don't know why I keep doing things on the wrong layer. And what is this one? This one's 25 and this one's 50. Now you can have pre-made scales as a block. that you can stretch to a certain size and a certain length. There's all sorts of ways for you to make this faster. And if you're interested in finding out what some of those are, let me know. But you always want to have some sort of a scale on there that somebody can read. Okay, again, now I'm going to put them on my thin layer. I'm going to put a donut, and I put the donut usually in paper space. Many people put it in model space, but I'm going to put it on the paper. So 0, probably 3/16, just something that you can see. Okay. The next thing that goes on here, there needs to be a north arrow. So I'll go find one. I'm going to type TP for tool palette. And I think they've got north arrows somewhere in here. There's some north arrow. Those ones might be kind of fancy, but let's just see what it looks like. That one's way too fancy. There we go. And I think I can rotate it. There we go. And I put that somewhere. And that's usually enough. Some people will put the letter N by it. And I can shrink it and all sorts of stuff, right? I can make it smaller if I want. So that's from your tool palette, TP. And you could even change these to be feet and stuff like that. Okay. And then the last part is to put your data in here. This time I want you to add DT, probably go right justified. And I'll put it inside here somewhere. Put it over here. I won't put it inside the property. I'll put it up here. And now it's got to be small on my piece of paper. So 3/16. And this is going to be all caps. Okay, and again, I'm always on the wrong layer. And I want you to fill those 3 out. So you can find the perimeter, just add up all the lengths of the lines. I show you how to do the area in square feet. And so then there's an acre. And it's really easy to figure out. Let's say this was 61,000 square feet. You just go here and you go 61,000 square feet to acres. It even knows. 1.4. So it's 1.4 acres. And that's how you do it. You would write 1.4, 61,000, whatever the square feet is. Those are typical things. So the things that still go on here are your property line descriptions, which are right here, by the way. You can just copy and paste this into your text, but you have to do it the opposite way. Here they did the direction then the distance. We usually do the distance, then the direction. You'll just copy and paste that text to line up with these. Okay, the last thing that goes on there, see, middle center. This is the property address. And I'm just clicking on all the wrong stuff, doing things weird, but there we go. You'll get your property address in there somewhere. Okay, it wouldn't hurt to put winding way up here for this one. For the other one that you do, it'll be a little bit different. This one will need to be a little bit bigger. The first line of the property, JR, how to do the first line of the property? Yes, I'll do that again. Okay. And I'll do it two ways. I'll see if I can get it right this time. So DT, middle center, put it right there. I'll make it 1/4. And this time I'll go and I'll get it on my right layer. So now we've added a little bit to what goes onto a drawing. We've got the scale, which absolutely goes in model space, so that if somebody scales this up and scales it down, they don't lose it. You can always put a comparator scale on. We put the north arrow on. We put perimeter area in square feet, area in acres, and the property address. And we've got these. So I haven't done the property line text, but you can do that. You can get that correct. So now we need to go back and I'm going to redo this thing over here. So the first line, I'm going to go onto my CProp layer. I'm going to do line, and it says over here, start at this point, which we don't care about where it is in the real world. Then I'm going to go 428.1 feet at an angle south, 1 degree, 46 minutes, 30 seconds to the east. So draw a line. There's my first point. And then since I'm not in dynamic, I'm going to do where I'm at. I just did the at symbol, the distance, 428.1. And I've already set myself for feet, so it knows feet. I don't need a symbol. And then I do the angle sign. And then I say, which direction do I start facing? South. How far do I turn? 1 degree, 46 minutes, 30 seconds, and which way? To the east. There it is down there. Enter. And there it is. Now let me see if I can figure out how to do it with this thing on. So 428.1 at an angle. 428.1 tab at an angle south, 1 degree, 36 minutes, 30 seconds east. Let's see if it'll do that. went the wrong way. I don't know why that's not doing polar. It's not liking that for some reason. Let's come over here. See, I don't know why that's doing it as north. And I don't think it lets me change it. No. Okay, so I'm not getting it right with the dynamic input on. So just make sure your dynamic input is off. And say where you start. Type the length. Type the angle symbol. Type the direction that you're going to start, south. How far you're going to bend, 1 degree, 36 minutes, 30 seconds, and which way to the east. And I forgot the at symbol. Lots of things to do to get those just right. Okay, any other questions?
I just didn't understand where you got the last line on the drawing that you completed. I'm not sure where you got that number from.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It
that
was like
one,
500 or something you said earlier. I forgot what it was.
Okay, so let me show you that one. That one is this one. Then on an arc, curving to the right with a radius of 574.6. Okay. And I could have drawn the arc first and then done this, but I chose to draw this one in first. Let me get rid of those and do it the way they say. So there's, first they say draw a chord 65.8. So from where I'm at, 65.8 at an angle north, 84 degrees, 48 minutes, and 22 seconds to the east. And then it says draw an arc with a radius of 574. So arc. Start. Oops. And I need to say start end radius. That's the one that gives me a radius. And remember, it draws counterclockwise. So I'll start here, end here, and my radius will be 574.6.
Thank you.
And then if you want to be good about it, you can do a close and see how far off they are. So from where I'm at, we can go 80.8 at an angle north, 85D, 5 minutes, 15 seconds to the east. Look, so something's obviously off, right? Either one of my legs is off, or this thing isn't quite right.
Maybe they need a new employee.
Yeah, could be. Okay. So usually there's a closure function that we can do, right? And so it's like, okay, is that one really the right length? Let's take a look and see. That was supposed to be 419.5. 419.29. So it's, for some reason I'm even shorter. I don't know why I did 419.29. Oh, that's delta Y. 419.5. And oh, there's where the problem is right there. 46. It should have been 1D 36, right? Nope. 1D 46. 1D 4. Oh, maybe I'm off on one of these ones. I think I was doing 1D 36. Let's find out. Nope, I got that one right too. So you can kind of see, if you go back and double check all these, there was a problem in here, and then you'd either go back and resurvey it, or just cut that down, or do a move command. And a fillet. But I don't care about that. You can leave it open and incorrect right now. We'll talk about those. Yes, you can use the, so JR asked, can you use the hatch command? That's a great way to do it. Okay, so if you do the hatch command, and then if you click on that hatch, it tells you the area. That's an excellent way to do it. Okay. Okay, so any other questions before we finish it up? Okay, so you have 2 of those to do. Two sites. 2 drawings to do. Where are they? There they are. 4632 Winding Way and 50 through 22 Hemlock. Do those ones, and then we're doing the survey equipment again. So this time, what you'll do is you'll just use this simulation if you're online, put a rod at each corner of each building, and read the information. You don't really have to record it that much. I'm going to be giving you a few more that you can do when you look at the template. So Thursday we'll talk about the synthesis and making a synthesis, which is right here. You'll make a synthesis of your readings. Here's one drawing. Here's the other drawing. And then you've got, just go back, get your visuals, set up the equipment, adjust the azimuth, level the site. That was new from this week. And I'm going to give you some things to read, some images, and you'll pop those images in here. I haven't given them to you yet. We have to get them, and you'll just tell me what the azimuth, site level, and distance readings are. Okay? And then you're going to be ready to do some super straightforward surveys next week. That'll be so cool. You're actually going to do some survey. And next week it'll be set up so that everybody does a little bit of both. Even if you're not on site, we're going to be recording the readings, and you're going to have to draw, make your survey record from the images that you're seeing, and then draw. So next week you'll get a little bit more. Cool? Okay, then that's it. I'm going to log off and get to another meeting. We'll see you guys later.
Have a good day.